What's going on, guys? It's HawkWX, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my preseason 2025 EU RLCS top 10 power rankings. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Now let's get into the video. Before we get into this, guys, I just wanted to say why I decided to go with my top 10 power rankings for EU instead of top 16 like I did for NA. Basically, I don't know quite as much about EU as I do about NA, but I do know a lot about EU, at least up to like the top, I would say honestly like the top 6. I know that's not phenomenal, but I know a lot up to about the top 6, and I know about many of the players outside of the top 6 teams. So I feel comfortable going up to 10 teams and being able to go up to 10 teams accurately, with pretty decent explanations to back up what I'm saying. Now with that being said, let's get into the power rankings. So guys, I'm actually starting my power rankings with an honorable mention. I wanted to put 100% here, and this might be surprising to you guys already, because some of you might have 100% a lot higher than this, and some of you guys might have 100% lower than this. But anyway, this is where I have them, and this is Lewis P, Acro, and Resi. My main reasoning, I struggled to decide where to put them. At one point, I considered putting them at 8, but I have slightly more confidence in the teams ahead of them. This team is capable of beating good teams and pulling off upsets. Would not be shocked if they finish top 10 in EU and make top 8s. Do not see a world where they make majors. My season projection for 100% is 8th to 12th, and I have a 0% chance of making majors for them. And also, guys, I don't think any of the teams on this list are bad. It's just the EU is so stacked that I really can't see any of these teams that I'm giving a 0% chance of making a major. We have Start Point next. This is a Chronic, Mitane, I don't know, and then Eugen. I've heard of a Chronic and I've heard of Eugen. I honestly haven't heard of Mitane, but I know that a Chronic and Eugen are both very good. A Chronic used to be on Team Liquid, and a Chronic is a very good player. So is Eugen, but anyway. My main reasoning for them being at number 10. They can finish ahead of some of the teams I have in front of them on here, I think. Their results will depend on consistency because I think they have a pretty high peak. I just do not know how they will play together. They have more potential than the team I have in front of them, I think, but I'm not super confident in them yet. I can see this team make a top 8. A Chronic is insane, and who knows who they could upset. My season projection for Start Point is 8th to 12th, and I give them a 0% chance of making majors. Now, guys, we have saved the game. This is Astral, Extra, and Matzer. I'm not sure how you say his name. This might actually surprise some of you guys because I know Astral and Extra actually haven't been doing much in EU the last couple of seasons, but I honestly think that they're still very good players, and I think, or at least solid. And I think with a young up-and-coming player from France, they actually have a chance to finish top 9 like I have them here in EU on my power rankings. Now for my main reasoning of this team being at number 9, I just have a feeling that this team can be very good. Really not a lot of logic went into this one. I believe that Astral and Extra are still good players, and Matzer is one of the most notable up-and-comers in EU, specifically France, which means a ton. Also, I'm pretty sure his name is Matzer. I just say Matzer, I don't know, it's just what comes out of my mouth. Anyway, I think this team can make a couple of top 8s, season projection 8th to 12th, 0% chance of making majors. I think this team has a lot of potential, I'm just not sure how good they will actually be. I think EU honestly might be the hardest region to predict. Anyway, with that being said, next up I have Synergy. This is AJG, Dorito, and Tecos, or Ticos, I'm not sure how you say that, but anyway. My main reasoning, this team could surprise people this season. I believe that all 3 of these players are very good. Cannot see this team make majors or sneak into a top 4, but I could see them potentially make every top 8. My main concern is their playstyle. I'm not sure how consistent and potent it will be. My season projection for Synergy is 8th to 10th, and I give them a 0% chance of making majors. AJG has shown what he's capable of, so is Dorito, and honestly, so is Ticos. I think this team could surprise people in EU. That's why I have them in the top 8 of EU when they finish this season, if they stick together. All right, guys, next up, I have Redemption, and this is Cash, Smokes, and Toxic. My main reasoning for them being at number 7, this might surprise some of you guys, but I have them at number 7 for these reasons. This team should be pretty good if they can have a consistent play style. I think Cash is one of the most underrated players in EU. Smokes and Toxic are both good as well. I believe they should make every top 8, but I do not see them making majors. They can upset teams in front of them. My season projection for this team is 7th to 8th, and I give them a less than 1% chance to make majors. You may have noticed this is the first team on my power rankings so far to actually have a chance of making majors, according to me. And you might be wondering why that is. Do I think this team's gonna make majors? No. I honestly think more realistically they have like a 0% chance of making majors just because the top of EU is so stacked. But I'm not ruling out the possibility this team could maybe make a top 4 in EU. It would take a lot of crazy things to happen, but I don't think it's impossible. Anyway, that does bring us to the top 6 teams in EU. This is teams that I actually feel pretty confident in where I put them. And at number 6, I have Tanaka. This is Archie, Joyo, and Oli. My main reasoning, this team has a ton of potential, but seems like a slightly nerfed version of last season's Oxygen, and it's mainly because they lost Oski. It's really hard to replace a player like Oski, who I think is one of the best players in EU overall. I think they will have a shot to make top 4s and might just be able to sneak into a major. It will depend on how they play together and Oli's performances. They should have a pretty high offensive ceiling. My season projection for this team is 4th to 6th, and making majors is possible for them. I do think they can make majors. They definitely have a way higher chance than Redemption does to make majors, and I think they can upset any of the teams in front of them. I just think it will be very, very hard for them to do. That brings me into number 5 on our list, and that's Stormtroopers. This is apparently Jack Jorez and Stizzy, and I actually feel really, really good about putting this team at number 5. I think I'm a lot higher on this team than probably a lot of people are, but there's just something about them. I really think they're going to be good this season. Anyway, my main reasoning, I believe this team can make majors. Will not be surprised at all if they do. I think they are going to have a playstyle so consistent and smart that it will choke teams out, even the best teams in the world. I think their offense will be strong too. Not only can they make majors, they can do extremely well at them. My season projection for this team is 4th to 6th in EU. Making majors is very possible. Basically, guys, I think that all 3 of these players complement each other, and I think they're all very smart. And I think they are all extremely good at what they do, and they can really do anything that they need to do. I think that 5th place in EU is a very, very good spot for them, and they could definitely make it into the top 4 and make majors in EU. You got to remember, Appjack was a arguably top 6 or 7 player in NA when he was in NA. Jorez was extremely good too, and we've seen what Jorez has been doing recently. He's been on the rise, and after that, especially after that Esports World Cup performance that he had. And then Stizzy is a very good up-and-coming player who honestly I think plays very maturely for his age and how little he's really played RLCS so far in his career. And I think you carry those 3 things over to EU, you're gonna have a pretty dang good team. And that brings me to number 4 on our list. It's Gentlemates. I honestly think that 4th to 6th on this list can all be swapped between each other. They're all interchangeable. It depends on opinion. I mean, this is obviously a completely subjective thing, but that's my opinion. I think 4th, 5th, and 6th can all be interchanged. But anyway, this is Juicy, Redocin, and Seiko. My main reasoning, Redocin is still very good at Rocket League. Not sure why some think he is nothing without Zen. Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about Redocin. They think that he's just not going to be quite the same without Zen. I don't think that's true, and I think you guys are going to learn that pretty fast. Anyone that is doubting Redocin, I think you're gonna learn that pretty fast. Obviously, not having Zen on your team is a very big thing to lose, but guys, come on, he's gonna be fine. Seiko and Juicy are not slouches, and Redocin's being very underrated by a lot of people, I think. We'll see, I could be completely wrong, but we'll see. Anyway, Juicy will be good, and Seiko is easily one of the best players in EU and the world, at least in my opinion. I believe Seiko is the best player on this team. I do not see them having as high of a ceiling as the teams in front of them, but I do think they might be able to get a sneaky regional win at some point. I think they have potential to win a major. My season projection, 3rd to 6th, likely to make majors. You probably noticed that I put for their season projection 3rd to 6th, and that's because I think they can finish as high as 3rd in EU. It'll depend on how they put it together, and I also think they can finish as low as 6th in EU, but I don't see them finishing lower than that. Either way, this is going to be a really good team, and I think 4th is a very safe spot to put them for now. Alright guys, now we're getting into the teams that I think can be argued to be some of the best teams in the world, and you can make an argument for each of these teams to be potentially the best team in the world at some point this season. I really do think that. And that brings me to number 3. It's Ninjas in Pajamas, Pajamas, I don't know. Honestly guys, I'm pretty sure that's just Pajamas too, but in America, we say Pajamas, I think. I say Pajamas, I've always thought it's P-A-J-A-M-A-S, not P-Y, but anyway, completely off topic. This is Itachi, Nas, and Oski. My main reasoning, this team can win regionals in EU and can win majors. Itachi is one of the smartest players in the world, and all 3 players are mechanical. They could have a higher offensive peak than anybody in EU, I truly do believe that. If they have a consistent playstyle, they will likely be just as good as number 1 and number 2 on this list. My season projection for this team is 1st to 4th. They are a major lock. I have no doubt in my mind that this team will make every major and worlds, and you can see I put 1st to 4th for them. I think they can actually finish 1st in EU. Would I bet on that? No. I think there's 2 teams in front of them right now that it's going to be almost impossible for teams to sneak in front of, but if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be this team. I really do believe that. This team, guys, is going to do crazy things this season. I do think so. If this team wins a major, I will not be surprised at all. I think their mechanical ceiling is one of the highest in the world, and I think Oski's full potential is going to be unlocked this season. Same with Nas. And then Itachi, man, you just know he's going to show up and do his thing every single game and every single series. Now we're finally going to move on to who I think the top 2 teams in EU are going to be, and I don't think this is a very clear-cut thing. I honestly think that these teams are interchangeable, but anyway, at number 2, I have Carine Corp. This is Jolly, Vatira, and Atau. My main reasoning, this team can definitely be the number 1 team in EU. Only put them 2nd because of Thanos. You guys probably know who Thanos is. If you don't, you'll find out in just a second. But anyway, I expect this team to win regionals, and they can definitely win majors. They will be more explosive on offense this season and should be better than last season's Carine Corp. That's my opinion. My season projection for this team is 1st to 2nd major lock. I don't see this team finishing below 1st or 2nd in EU. We'll see. I just don't really think it's possible, but I do think that Ninjas in Pajamas can steal their spot. We'll see. I think it's possible. Anyway, guys, it's time to reveal who number 1 on the list is. This is super unexpected. It's Team Vitality. I know, I bet you guys did not guess that. I bet you didn't see it coming, but anyway, this is Exotic, Monkey Moon, and Zen. My main reasoning, Zen is arguably the best player in the world, and Exotic is great. and Monkey Moon is one of the best up-and-coming players. This Monkey Moon guy, man, I think he's got a lot of potential. He hasn't done a lot yet, but I think he's going to do a lot of good things in EU RLCS. Will he win majors? Will he win worlds? I don't know. That's yet to be determined. But yeah, guys, Monkey Moon is the one who I was referring to as Thanos. But anyway, I cannot doubt Monkey Moon. He just wins, at least until proven otherwise. Very possibly could be a 3x world champion after this season. I do think that that is very possible. Can definitely win majors, that's obvious. This is a team that will probably get better and better throughout the season, just like every Monkey Moon team, which is scary. I swear, dude, every single BDS team that I watched got better and better throughout the season. It literally happened last season. It happened the season before that. It happened the other season. It happened the other season that Monkey Moon won worlds. My season projection for this team is first to second. They are a major lock. No question, you're gonna see this team at every single major, at least in my opinion. If they don't make majors, it will be, I don't know what happened. I just have no idea how they could possibly miss majors. But anyway, they are a major lock, first to second in EU. I think probably first, just because I think throughout the season, they're probably going to be the most consistent team in EU, but it'll depend. I can easily see Carine Corp and even Ninjas and Pajamas finishing first as well. But I think it's going to be a huge battle between K Corp and Vitality throughout the whole season in EU. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for my RLCS EU 2025 top 10 power rankings. And also, guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments where you see teams finishing in EU, and also who you think is going to make majors out of EU this season. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.